Utah State is off to a 3-1 start for the first time since 2021. And if you remember, that was the year the Aggies won a Mountain West title. Hi, everybody. I'm Jesse Kurtz here in the Mountain West Network studio where I'm pumped up to talk some Aggies football. To do so, we head out to Logan and bring in the quarterback at Utah State, Bryson Barnes. Bryson, I appreciate you making time for us out of your busy schedule.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You bet. This team right now is playing really good football, which is amazing given the fact that the Aggies brought in 69 new players during the offseason, which is the second most in the nation. How did you guys build such a strong chemistry that has led to this fast success?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is doing hard things together. That's one of our guiding principles as a team. And, it's just kind of the culture that Coach Mendenhall brings with him. And so when you do really hard things together and before the workout, you're looking at what you got to do and you're like, I don't think this is even going to be physically possible to get done. And then you do it. And then when you're doing it with brothers beside you, it just creates these bonds that are unlike any other. And I've also never seen a team being able to get so close together like this. And I really do believe it's because of the hard things that we've been through the last 9 months.
The wide receiver room was especially green to start the year for you guys. Utah State is the only FBS team that started the season having not returned a single reception from its wide receiver group from last year. Yet here you are on pace right now to throw for nearly 3,000 yards on the year. What's impressed you the most with the weapons that you have in the pass game right now?
Man, I think what's impressed me the most is just them dudes just make plays. As soon as they came in, I was able to see them running around before spring ball had even started. I was like, we got some dudes that are going to be able to go out there and make some plays. And then obviously the growth and the development in Coach McGivern's system and, the chemistry that I've been able to build with them. And, we meet every single day after practice. And we just kind of talk through things, making sure we're all on the same page. And I really think that obviously me and them being on the same page, but then, I've just got dynamic playmakers out there. I just got to make sure I get them the football.
Well, you yourself are a dynamic playmaker, and you have been on an epic 2-game run over the past couple of weeks in wins over Air Force and McNeese, completing 73% of your passes for 580 yards and 5 touchdowns. On top of that, you've rushed for 172 yards and another 5 touchdowns. Do the math. That's 752 yards of total offense and 10 touchdowns in 2 games. Have you ever had a stretch like this before?
Yeah, no, I've not had a stretch like this. It's been a good 2 games, but I like to try to take things 1 week at a time and hopefully repeat it. But it's all just about this week, and hopefully we can do that stuff again.
Now, Utah State has such a proud history of great quarterbacks suiting up for the Aggies, and you're doing things, though, that nobody has ever done in an Aggies uniform as a quarterback. You have 3 100-yard rushing games in your career, number 1 all-time for a quarterback at Utah State. You're 2 rushing touchdowns shy of a single-season record of 8 held by the great Chucky Keaton, and you still have 8 games to play this season, at least 8 games. So what would it mean to you to leave your mark on a program that has already produced quarterbacks like Jordan Love, Chucky Keaton, Logan Bonner, just to name a few?
Yeah, that would be super cool. I hadn't really heard of any of those stats before. That is, but there's so many different moving pieces that allow me to be able to have the production I have. We talked about the dynamic playmakers. I have a receiver. And QB run game, I kind of benefit from 2 different things, and that's our own line creating a lot of movement and gaps, but it's also the running backs being effective carrying the football. I think when you get those 2 things going, it really kind of opens the quarterback run. So that's really something I've been able to fortunately benefit from. But yeah, I actually hadn't heard of all those stats, but it is super cool. I think Logan is a super special place. I've loved my time being up here, so it mean a lot to be able to kind of cement a legacy here up here at Utah State.
Let's dive into that community. You came to Utah State after spending 4 seasons at the University of Utah, where, by the way, you played in 2 Rose Bowls. That's pretty significant. Yet you're at Utah State right now. Why Utah State and why the Logan community? Why were they right for you?
Man, there was kind of a lot of things that kind of went throughout my transfer portal experience. And, at the end of the day, after everything that I've been through, I truly believe that I was made to come here. And, what influenced my decision the most was being able to get my master's, getting a master's in business administration. And so I was able to come here, finish my master's degree at the same time I finished up my collegiate eligibility. And so that was kind of a big influence, was looking futuristically for my life and my family. And then, I think everything, like I said before, that I was made to be here. And I think with Bronco and his staff coming in, like I truly believe that it's kind of like a match made in heaven.
I love your background and your story. You grew up in a small town in southwestern Utah, Milford, Utah to be exact, a town of around 1,400 people built on mining and railroads, blue collar at its finest. You spent your time doing the dirty work, as I would call it, caring for 12,000 pigs on a family farm. What was it like for you growing up as a pig farmer? The good, the bad, and the ugly?
Yeah, I mean, you don't see the good until you're out of it, and you realize, like I talked about the guiding principle of like doing hard things together, and doing something hard like the pig farm. Like at the time, it sucked. I knew it sucked. There was nothing that was going to get around it. It stunk. It wasn't fun to wake up early. It was tiring. Like it's everything you could imagine. Then like I look back and I look at like the lessons that I built and the resilience that I was able to build and grow from, that like I look at myself doing hard workouts in college football, waking up early, and it's like, oh, this is nothing. But yeah, going out there, raising the chute to ship the pigs out. I mean, there were just so many things that kind of come to mind. Probably my least favorite one was the mice bait stations around the barn that you had to change, because you don't know what you'd find when you'd open that box, and so that was always the worst.
Yeah, I would imagine, but I'm sure it built you into the competitor that you are right now, and that's one of the best in the Mountain West. As you mentioned, you've already graduated from Utah State. Congratulations on that. Did so in the spring of 2024. Mentioned you're pursuing an MBA. You're also married to your high school sweetheart with a child on the way. You are winning at life right now. What are you looking forward to the most as a father?
Man, what I'm looking forward to the most is just these first few weeks of being a dad while also trying to navigate college football. I think as a quarterback, you kind of have a unique time crunch as far as like you don't get to kind of show up just for meetings. Like there's a lot of extra film study that goes in. There's a lot of stuff when you're at home, studying the game plan, maybe cleaning up a few things. Never leave no stone unturned is kind of something I've always kind of lived by. And so, making sure all my P's and Q's are right as far as film goes. But so there's not usually a lot of time in the day, and so having a kid and being able to navigate that, and so that's going to be for the first couple weeks towards the end of college football and his first few weeks of life. And I'm excited to navigate that, and just continue to develop my relationship with my wife and my kid while all this is going on.
Well, you're a great leader, great competitor. I know that you're now going to be a great father when the time comes. You're a class act as well. Thank you so much, Bryson, for representing Utah State and the Mountain West in all the right ways. Thank you so much for taking time for us here today, and good luck to you and the Aggies the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. That's Bryson Barnes, quarterback at Utah State, which, by the way, you can watch he and the Aggies in the first ever matchup between Utah State and Vanderbilt this Saturday. Kickoff from First Bank Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee is set for 11:45 a.m. Central Time, and it'll be televised by the SEC Network. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.